As motorcycle enthusiasts, most of us dream of riding our motorcycles really fast around racetracks while setting blazing lap times. However, in reality, our bikes, no matter how fast they may be, are required to take us to work instead and keep us comfortable in the process. Yamaha thinks this motorcycle, the MT-15, is designed to do exactly that. So let's find out if this bike is just an R15 in skimpy, revealing clothing, or if it is instead an empty promise. Like the R15, the MT-15 is precise and polished in its mannerisms, but this one wants to flaunt what it's got on city streets. It may not be the most beautiful motorcycle out there, but it sure looks menacing, and the minimalist proportions look just right for the sort of riding experience it promises. On its way to India, it lost its upside-down fork and comprehensive swing arm, something Yamaha India replaced with simpler looking stuff, but there's still an R15 motor in there, and that can't be a bad thing, right? For sure, those of you a bit bored of what the KTM Dukes look like will really like the slim and stealthy MT-15. But hey, if this is an urban motorcycle, what are we doing here? I mean, this is an old Formula 1 circuit. Doesn't sound quite right, but a Yamaha, no matter how big or small, is usually a lot of fun, and the MT-15 does sort of stay true to its genes. Thanks to a 138 kg curb weight and an ultra-short wheelbase, the MT-15 feels compact and energetic, and what helps it further is of course the 155cc liquid-cooled SOHC 4-valve motor, which is exactly as powerful and torquey as in the R15 V3, and that means it's quite quick off the line. With Yamaha's variable valve actuation also present, the MT-15 has great low-end performance to offer while still holding a good reserve of tractability towards the top end. Having said that, it's not exactly what you'd call punchy. Yamaha has equipped the MT-15 with a larger rear sprocket than the R15 and altered the final drive ratio as well. But more than those details, what sweetens the deal is how refined and linear it is. Like on the R15, the MT-15 also features a slip and assist clutch, and that translates to a light clutch lever and smooth, mechanically precise gear shifts and the ability to downshift really hard. Being a naked bike, the MT-15 amplifies the sensation of speed, and the aggressive riding stance makes you feel quite charged up. On city streets, you're not going to make too many friends. But hey, all the nice people are supposed to be riding Hondas, no? Right. And in the next chapter of How to Lose Friends and Alienate People, we shall discuss the MT-15's biggest strength, the dynamics. Sure, it may not have the all-important upside-down fork, and the swing arm may only be a box section unit, but it still has very good genes, and that perimeter frame has enough merit on its own to make the MT-15 quite a hoot around corners. Apart from the lightweight, the MT-15 also has generously sized MRF zappers at either end, and with that short wheelbase and sharp steering angle, you can have a lot of fun throwing it into corners. Having said that, its cramped riding position does restrict weight shifting to a minimum. While it's just right for a fast ride in the city, to college or to, well, bunking college perhaps, even on long sweeping curves such as the ones you find on a highway, stability is decent. There is, however, one chink in the MT-15's armor. And that will have to be the braking. The MT-15 does get a disc at either end, and it has good progression as well, but it just doesn't have the kind of bite you'd really like. Thankfully, it won't land you in absolute trouble because there is of course a single channel ABS, but there's no real substitute for very good brakes, is there? Now, because we're on what is India's finest racetrack, I can't tell what the suspension is like over bad roads. However, from what little I could experience, the MT-15 seems pliant enough and certainly not a backbreaker like the Duke 200. Speaking of comfort, you can make your peace with the compact dimensions, but the pillion seat isn't exactly lavish and may be best left to, well, very close friends. So the MT-15 is quite enjoyable, but it's not exactly the most practical or the most logical bike out there. And to think you can have more powerful motorcycles like the Apache RTR 200 4V or the Pulsar NS 200, which are as well equipped if not better for lesser money. Having said that, the MT-15 isn't exactly an empty promise. However, considering it's just this much cheaper than an R15 without offering as much kit, it surely doesn't make a lot of sense. And that, after all that anticipation, is very disappointing.